Welcome back to another episode of the Football Fun Dates, our FPL edition. We know we've missed a few in between. We're having a lot of technical issues, unfortunately. But good news, most of those have been ironed out. We are reshooting this one just for you guys. We're going to try premiering this or releasing this an hour and a half before deadline. We know that's not best for views, but we just want to make sure we give you as much information as we can, as we always prefer doing that. The videos are for y'all, not just for us. Kern, the last game week wasn't too bad for you or me. 87 for you, 78 for me. Not much to talk about there. Our moves worked out. No minuses involved. Wild card, triple captain, all safe for this game week and the game weeks to come. Anything you'd like to add about what's to come, or you want to straight get into the episode?
No, we can get into it and then I'll sort of talk about it as we look at my team. In today's episode, we are going to look at my wildcard team. My wildcard is active. I'm going to tell you why in a second. And yeah, let's just jump into it. Yeah, so there you have it. That is my team currently for this game week. I could have honestly done a -4 Annie and just had Kane in my team. It would basically Sterling to Gundogan is the big change that has happened, which has allowed me the money to go. And this is a big flex from Ryan Brewster to Harry Kane. So
It is indeed, but it is indeed.
so that was my -4 change. I still wasn't too happy with everything else though, because Everton have great pictures, and then not having Calvert Lewin was a tricky one. I didn't have Harvey Barnes either, and then I didn't want to do Son and Kane both. I mean, I could have, but I'm happy with having Barnes instead of Son. Uh, so that's primarily the changes that made me go from a -4 to screw it, let's do wildcard. And also, this is the biggest game week there is, right? So I think these are the ones that you need to use your chip in. Uh, Free hit, not necessarily needed because the squad was decent enough. And I'm going to probably use it in one of the blank game weeks that's coming up because it's better that way that you don't have to change your week team completely, right? So using my free hit for the blank game week, triple captain Harry Kane, very tempted, but form was there, fixtures were not. So then held back on that. So wildcard was there, and the team needed some fixing anyway. So wildcard was hit.
Right. So that's where we were at last week also, Gone. Right. 26 was an ideal wild card for both of us. I am right now most likely going to wild card two. I was on the fence about just taking a -4 and triple captaining, right? It wasn't about doing no chip, it was about which chip. So, with my wild card as well, I was looking at getting in Kane, DCL for Ings and for Antonio. Downgrading, so I wouldn't be able to get Barnes, even though I was making room. I had to downgrade Antonio Madison because he's injured all the way down to either a Suchek and he leave him on the bench for this week. Also move out one of my defenders to make room for Martinez. I was just about getting my team going there, the way it was looking. In fact, the -4 to Kane, the only reason why I was just going to go for that was, -8 for Kane for me because I needed more room, was only because I thought keeping my wild card in for 27 onwards to get balance in 27, 28, free hit 29, and then leaving a broader look for game week 30 onwards would be what I would want to do.
Yeah.
That's why I was holding back. But I think I'm going to wild card as things stand. I'll have to do, like I said, choose between Barnes and Martinez. I can't have both of them, even if I wild card it. That's where I am at.
Yeah, makes sense, Annie. I'm going to now jump into this week itself because I know a lot of managers are on their wild card or their free hit or some chip or the other, right? And have been really confused. And I think, some of the must-haves in this week are Kane and Calvert-Lewin. I think these two are must-haves.
Right.
Fernandez is a must-have as well. Gundogan, yes, there's some doubts over his minutes because he played a lot midweek, but just as a price point that he enables, and City with rotation, you never know. So I think that price point and form and everything, two home games, Gundogan is there. I've taken two City defenders again because their clean sheet potential in home games in general is just so good. And Wolves aren't the most free scoring team right now, and West Ham as well. Could do something. I mean, you have Jesse Lingard there now
Yeah.
playing tricks.
Yep.
But I can see City keeping clean sheets in both of those, right? I'm going to quickly just go to the transfers page now. And also one of I took Ollie Watkins out, Annie.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons is that Jack Grealish is a doubt, right? And I don't know how much they'll perform. So it was between Watkins uh, and Calvert-Lewin. And for me, Calvert-Lewin was just an easy pick over Watkins because I want to hold on to Bamford in the longer run. Uh, so one of the bigger doubts for me, Annie, was Luca Dean, right? If you see the
Yeah.
fixtures are
Are
absolutely
phenomenal.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the problem here is this little thing, just 2 clean sheets. That's it. So it is like slightly doubtful. The other one I was looking at is Marcus Alonso. Uh, he's become so important right now to the Chelsea team, but the history is great with him. Nice 3 clean sheets in the last five. But there you go. Look at those next fixtures.
Plus, yeah.
Uh,
Plus, you don't know when he'll just start playing Chilwell again. He will have to rotate with Champions League.
yeah. So yeah, bigger rotation out with as compared to Luka Dean. Chelsea haven't faced a team yet in that regard, and then up against United and Liverpool. Everton are scoring, again with Calvert-Lewin back, or so it seems. At least the football is looking much better. So I really wanted to go Alonso because he's a great differential at 3.3%. But Lucarin is still under 10% owned, and I was like, you know what, let me just go there. The other option was Cresswell, but highest scoring defender, great option, but again, same
Correct.
problem. Fixtures are just awful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Single game week, and yeah, it just wasn't there for me.
I was happy to move
Uh,
Cresswell on as well. Like 2 weeks back, I told you he will very likely give a 9 or 10 pointer in this game week that I moved him on, and he gave a 10 pointer there. But in the long run, over the 2 game weeks, it paid off for me either way. So I'm okay
yep.
with that. I got my 14 points plus from me, and it's okay. It was without a hit. In the end, it worked out. Do we see West
Yep.
Ham causing an upset against City again? Antonio getting a goal, Cresswell. I mean, of
Hopefully.
course, it could happen. But logically, we're talking about the best picks for this game week. Cresswell isn't one of
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, yeah, agree. Because just no double game week away to City. I mean, yes, he could get an assist because he is getting those, but come on, if we're just looking at player versus player, and even in the long run, right? We like to look at multiple fixtures. Luka Dean just has the better fixtures coming up. The last one, Annie, that had me confused was Luke Shaw. Uh, been great underlying stats in the last few weeks. But again, the fixtures aren't very convincing for me. As a United fan, I just know that we have that goal to concede in us, which is very frustrating,
Indeed. Yeah.
especially Chelsea away. We don't know how they're going to turn up. I actually see that potentially being a boring nil. I hope not. Could be.
Could be. Yeah.
But I think
Indeed.
both managers are at a point where they need to go for it. It's not the middle of the season right now or early season where they can play out a safe draw. United need to win to challenge City, and Chelsea need to win to cement or sort of get that top four spot, right? So I think both teams will need to go for it a little bit. So I do see goals conceded. Crystal Palace away, maybe not. But again, in City away, West Ham, I do see us conceding goals in these games, which is the only reason why Shaw was in the pick. Otherwise, taking him enables a lot of money in bank to get stuff done. Yeah. So I think that's where my main headaches were. And what's also as a result of Luca Dean coming in, Annie, has been that I now have I was playing with deep
Yeah.
benches all this while,
Right.
but now my keeper's non-playing and Mitchell is
No, but right.
playing, but I mean it's
But
not
Con, that's the point, right? We both use a bench boost. We don't need a deep bench in terms of keeper and second defender at least. Yes, COVID is
Yes.
still a risk. It's not that it's gone away. United had a scare again last week on their own in their coaching staff. But when you are using your last wildcard, your second wildcard of the season, you need to maximize it, right? If you are not bench boosting
Yeah.
after, it is to build up to your blank game week or to your triple captain. Coming to the triple captain, then, Con. If you're not, so you can leave the team as it is. You can just let's leave your team
Yeah.
here, right? Let's assume
Yeah.
you don't use a wildcard, okay? Or let's assume you now, okay, let's say you use your wildcard. When would you triple captain then? Because you can't triple captain then this game week.
I'm looking at around 33. there's some good fixtures coming up. I don't know the exact, but I think Liverpool have a couple of good fixtures in 33, if I'm not mistaken. No, sorry, 33 is a blank. 33 is a potential blank where Liverpool have a good fixture, but I think there are a couple of good double game weeks to come because that blank I think is City not playing. So City will then have a potential double game week, right? So I'm going to wait for those to come along. I'm not going to pull the gun on it. I was very tempted. The only reason I didn't play my wild card as soon as last game week was done was because I was thinking, you know what, Harry Kane triple captain this week has everything written on it, every single thing.
Yep.
Flat track bully needs to perform. Maybe law of averages will catch up now on the other side of things, and they'll start their uptick again.
Yep.
All of that is going for them, but the underlying stats, So I just like that triple captain points that I got from Kane. I might get more with the team I have now, with the likes of Calvert-Lewin, Luka Dean, Harvey Barnes, just having those people in my team, I think will get me more points than the triple captain is what I'm hoping over the next this game week and next couple of game weeks.
All right, fair enough, Karan. And before we go back out of this discussion into our general list, let's also give a parting mention to if you have your bench boost, definitely I would say bench boost this week. What if you have single player fixtures? What if, like most of us have Dallas and Bamford on our benches, right? If you have just single fixture players, I get it. It is a coin toss. It is not an easy decision to make over there. It's not the best one. Then the only other option I see people having to use the bench boost would be, I think, on 28 if Villa and Everton get the double there. That's what we're waiting for right now. Otherwise, I see bench boost far and few between the options to use it, right? Unless you keep a deep bench going into game weeks after 30, where you see a good run of fixture, then you just go for it, right? You punt it there.
Yeah, I think bench boost this week, 100%. If I had mine, I'd be playing it. And the reason I pulled up cash here is, see that, that single fixture for Leeds against Villa, minus cash and minus Grealish is not too bad. If I have those single fixtures, I would personally be going for it, because in the other game weeks, it's not like you have a double fixture either, right? For everyone, it's going to be just few players. So maximize on this. Yes, if you have double game week fixtures, then great. Someone like Mitchell could probably do that for you. He has a double game week, Fulham at home, which is good. And he's played 2 of the last 3. Yes, obviously, don't look at that 1 point and 2 point. It's terrible. But I'm just saying, someone like this could be a differential on your bench, just an enabler who has a double game week, potentially plays only one of the 2, but could do something for you, right? So I'm just thinking there are upsides to playing the bench boost this week. But yeah, try. If you have all 11, 15 players on a double game week, that's ideal. You have 30 fixtures plus together. You have 31 returns potentially coming in. That's insane.
Correct. Tough one over there, obviously, if you have, say, like I said, if you have the likes of Bamford and Dallas, and you obviously can't wildcard and bench boost together, right? So if you have single fixtures as well, that still leaves you with 26 approximately, 25, 26, which is still great. It's amazing. It's more than what we had when we bench boosted, right? We had about 24 or 23 approximately.
Yeah.
So yeah, guys, don't overthink it. If you feel instinctively that this is the one to go for it. The reason we went with Kern's team reveal today is because he pulled the trigger on the wild card before I did. I will, like I said, most likely still use the wild card as of now. We actually shot this episode last night, just me, but we had so many issues again getting that episode out. A lot of things changed overnight and just wasn't comfortable going out of that episode. So yeah, luckily for everybody, we have a wildcard template, which is a genuine template in front of us. In Kern's team, we can have one more last look at it. Okay, Kern, we can now tail off from this and just close this with our captain discussion.
Oh man, I am so nervous. Like I think this is the toughest captaincy pick I've had, and last week I picked Rafinha. If you remember, I was just
it worked out for you. That's what got you.
Yeah. Because the week before that, I had a big drop. I went down to about, I think, 90K or somewhere there. I was like, okay, I need to get that rank back. I pulled Rafinha, and hey, look at that. Back in the top 1% where I want to be.
Nice. Yes.
Right. So I want to go further up. So the captain pick is much tougher this week for me. I need it's between Harry Kane and Bruno Fernandes primarily. Uh, just it's going either way. I think I'm just going with Fernandes just because even last week after the first game week, right? Fernandes in a single fixture got as many points as Rafinha in two fixtures. So I'm just like, why do we even doubt Fernandes at this point?
Right.
Even if say he blanks against Chelsea, which honestly I think is a fixture he can get returns in, he's very likely to get some a good score at Palace, right? And I know a lot of people are worried about rotation, but he didn't play that much midweek. Ole has come out and said that Bruno recovers really well. Him and Rashford both, they play 90 minutes, they recover. It's really good.
And
so
Khan, I think we
I
reached
see
the
him
point
playing the game
we
as
can't
well.
see him rotated anymore. There is no Van de Beek. There is
No.
doubts over Pogba. There is doubts over McTominay. There's doubts over Cavani. There's doubts over Fred. Even a small doubt. There's actually going to come to the point where he has to start. Right? There's no option.
Yeah. I mean, even though say Van de Beek might be back, but do we see him starting in the Premier League over Bruno? No, unfortunately not. So if Pogba was there, then maybe. But Pogba is definitely out for another 2 weeks. So
Right.
Fernandes is starting, right? He started Real Sociedad when he didn't have to at all. So I think Fernandes starts, and that's the exciting one for me. The obvious mentions also have to go to Calvert-Lewin. Great fixtures. It's just that can we trust Everton to get those goals?
Southampton have been dead awful. West Brom have been trying, but they've been dead awful too. Everything says that maybe Everton can finally break that duck and get those 3-4 goals, but you're always wary, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Southampton are the team you pick. Like in the middle, at the start it was West Brom. Then at some point it was Leeds because they're free flowing. Then it was Sheffield United at one point. Now it's Southampton, right? So Everton have that fixture. Calvert-Lewin is looking sharp. I am honestly maybe even half tempted to go there. There's just so many good captaincy options this week. And speaking of Sheffield United, which I just did, Mo Salah again. Sheffield United. He has that fixture, but Diogo Jota might be back. And weirdly enough, that puts me off Salah a little bit because earlier when he was getting those goals, he was taking those returns away from Mo. And it's not sure whether he'll start. I don't think he'll start both games. I think he might be eased into the Sheffield United game if needed. He was anyway a bench player for a lot of the time, right? He was the impact sub. So I don't see him necessarily starting this game, but yeah, so puts me off Mo Salah just that slightly.
So you're still
and especially just seeing how bad Liverpool are.
So you're still leaning on Bruno or Kane as your primary option?
Or Calvert-Lewin.
So it's
Calvert-Lewin.
So everybody watching this episode, we truly apologize for Kern messing your brains up even more closer to deadline because clearly we're not there yet. Okay, let's reframe this. If you were using your triple captain chip,
Kane,
right? Simple.
Triple captain Kane, just because the upside is just there. This could easily be one of those weeks where you get like 75 points just off Kane on a triple captain.
All right. And if you're not, and if you have just wildcarded or -4 and you don't have a triple captain yet, I would personally myself say I would lean towards Bruno. I would definitely lean towards Bruno more than I would lean towards Salah, even with all of Sheffield's last season's back four injured for this game. Just that Sheffield game could potentially give Salah all those returns over everybody else, right? But I just think that Bruno is so decisive to what United want to do. If they want to stay in the top four, they have to beat Chelsea. They have to get a result. They have to get results against Palace. Only way that's happening, Bruno Fernandes. So I think it's simple over there.
Yeah.
And Kern, before we close this episode, I want to talk about Kevin De Bruyne.
No, sorry. I'm going to say, sorry. I need just one last one. If you want to go up in your mini leagues, Calvert-Lewin.
All right, yeah.
If you want to play safe, then Bruno. If you
want
to hold rank, if you want to sort of hold rank, then Bruno or Kane. If you need to make that ground up, then Calvert-Lewin is your man.
Right, and that's where I came in with I want to talk about closing comment there. Kevin De Bruyne, Kern. Yeah. Let's say if you didn't go for the likes of Kane, if you would have moved things around, you could have taken Son up to, let's say, KDB, not got Gundogan in, balanced it out. Now, KDB, if you look at his ownership, he is a true differential in terms of captaincy, right?
Yeah.
So
I'm just going to pull him up here. So we have his ownership numbers in front. 12.2% for Kevin De Bruyne is absolutely fantastic.
And he is not played midweek. So he ideally will start one of the two games and will feature definitely in both the games, right? Because they don't really need him for the second leg either. Gundogan has played minutes.
Yeah.
Aguero is technically fit. They have everybody back. That means more likely to see Sterling missing out a bit and KDB coming in. So is KDB worth that differential hit? Yes, no.
Yes, if you want to make up your mini league, yes. The only reason, and to give this context, is I got Gundogan in is because of his high ownership.
Correct.
I wanted to be safe there because I might be playing slightly risky somewhere else. So if you want to make rank, then Kevin De Bruyne. If you want to play safe, then Gundogan. Then obviously price difference comes into it. You can't do a like for like comparison.
Like I said, that's
I'm saying, yeah.
You ideally, if you're getting in KDB and not getting rid of Salah or Bruno, either you have to let go of Son if you want Kane, or then Kane doesn't come into the side. It's just DCL, Bamford, and whoever else you choose to go with, right? Maybe Watkins there with a double fixture. You can't have them all. And everyone who's been asking me this since last night, I told them it's very clear. Either you go differential with KDB and risk Kane's haul, or you play safe with Kane, captain him, hold rank maybe, or push a bit up, miss out on De Bruyne's points, with Gundogan maybe missing out a game, but still thereabout not lose too much ground. That's exactly what you said, right?
Yeah.
Gundogan's ownership is just too hard to ignore and value for his price in the end. Worry there only with Gundogan is if Aguero starts one game, definitely on pens, Aguero. And if KDB starts, I don't think Gundogan gets penalties again. Either way, it might just go to him. So that's doozy. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Kurt, any closing comments for all our FPL managers out there?
It's a confusing one, guys. Please do send in the captains that you are picking. It'll be very interesting to see, what picks everyone is doing. Just do send in your teams. We know this is close to deadline, but if you still have any questions, send them across to us. We'll try to be active on Twitter and in the comments while those are coming in. Most importantly, and I always like to say this, play with your gut, because in the end, that's the fun, right? And that's one of the reasons I'm going Bruno. My mind is saying Harry Kane, for the benefit of not dropping rank, for the benefit of upside, for all of that. But because my gut is saying Bruno Fernandes, I'm just going to try and have fun with it and go with Bruno Fernandes.
All right, there you have it. I'm going to most likely try to get this episode out to you guys as soon as I can. It's just about 4 hours before deadline, so hopefully it premieres in time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe on our videos, subscribe to this channel, hit us up on Instagram and on Twitter, all our personal accounts as well. Thank you so much for tuning in. From next week onwards, we'll be back to our usual schedule of our releases. Our technical glitches will be far, far away from us. Best of luck, everybody, for this massive, important game week of the season.
Best of luck, guys.